So thank you very much, the judges and everybody. We are Team Testlah, as you have heard earlier. So what we are doing is Challenge 4, which is to create Singapore's next net zero carbon district. What we observe is that in Singapore, as much as renewable energy is getting utilized all over Singapore, it's not fully utilized. And that's because of a mismatch between the different demand and supply of power from different building types. Like for example, for residential places, the demand of power in a day is very low, but is very high at night. And that is the vice versa for commercial properties. So in terms of renewables like solar energy, this can be a problem. The solutions that we see today, all the power monitoring solutions and energy managing solutions, they are usually one-dimensional or they are from top down. So what we have is PowerMon Go, which is the short form for power monitoring on the go. So what we do is we reward individual users, so this is a user-up solution, through our technology which tracks power that users consumes and produces. If you can see from the mock-up over here. So what happens is we have a commercial building that has a solar power generating device on top. And then things like electric vehicles get more prolific in Singapore. They can actually transport this power to the high demand areas like residential at night. So you have the EV get charged during the day when you're at work and you'll bring the power home with you. So with improvement in technology like EVs, power banks, that will be to solve the problem. You can look at the screen over there, right? And the house lights up. To make this a user-up interface, what we have created is an app that allows users to track how much power they consume and how much power they produce or transport. So like I said, we have a hidden member of our team, our fourth member. He's at the power main. So what he's going to do is, you can see from the video, this is a live feed. It's a camera pointing at another camera. So it's a live feed. He's going to clip it onto the, it's a simple CT sensor. And then if you look at our app, once he's connected, you can see that the red bar actually goes up live. Fluctuates a bit because it's cumulative. So the blue bar that you see below, that is for the power that a person is going to produce or transport. So the red one is consumed, the blue is how much it generates. So this gives it a very fun interactive feature. We believe that PowerMon Go goes beyond just transporting clean energy from point A to point B. It is actually a platform for IoT tracking devices to come on board so that power consumed can be more easily tracked and it can go to an endless variety. And for future renewable energies, such as the kinetic pavements or anything like that. So if any of your organizations would like to assist us with a test bidding, we will definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Do you think this is important in Singapore with the level of solar PV that we are able to utilize? Or this is more applicable to countries where potentially the contribution of intermittent solar is much higher?
We think that is the exact problem that we are trying to solve to make a zero carbon district so that it can be applied both locally and overseas. In Singapore, the power grid is pretty strong, but which is why we are going from the user-up approach so that we don't have to spend massive money changing the power grid, adding batteries as storage. So we are getting individuals to contribute to this process of commuting power rather than depending on the power grid. For overseas use, or rather from the technology point of view, instead of just solar, which is an intermittent power, this can bring in other forms of renewables as well, as long as you need to transport power from a place of low demand and high production to a place with high demand, low production. So it's either way. A lot of people think that EVs must be the building charge the EV, right? Natural thinking, the big chargers are small. But this is turning it around that the mobile stations charges the fixed building. So it's the other way around.
Maybe my main concern was whether you've analyzed the way solar is produced and used in Singapore, for example. You started off saying that it is not fully utilized.
Yes.
In reality, the contribution, because the solar contribution is so small, I can tell you that it's all utilized. There is no such thing as the need to curtail generation of solar. As in some countries, they curtail generation of wind because the grid cannot take it anymore. So I'm just concerned whether you actually have made a strong enough case that you really need storage, first of all, and what is the reason for that? If it's to transfer energy using storage, that's a different thing from trying to stabilize the grid, or contribute to what we call grid stability or reliability, where it might not be energy transfer, it might be some other function that is needed.
Sure, we are looking at this not from a grid perspective, but from the user's perspective. So if you are going to install a solar energy system on your roof, and you're not going to use it during the day, basically, even though we have
the basic problem I have with this assumption is that you're saying that the solar is not going to be used in the day. Actually, the amount of generated solar, once you have access to feed it into the grid, is going to be used. It's not as if there is more solar to go around and you can't use it.
Yes. So for the particular building, it will or the user is if you the moment you feed it back to the grid, and in Singapore there's no feed-in tariff, you are actually selling the power lower than you're getting back.
Right.
So to the user, it will not make sense if the power that he produces are all being fed into the grid.
So I see now that you actually understand the situation quite well. Maybe it was not articulated well enough, and the rationale and the motivation. I think we can make a case for it, but it was not very clear from your initial.
Thank you. Thanks for the